Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History is a documentary web series created by Geno Samuel, which began in February 2018. It is, as the name suggests, an extensive, in-depth documentary about Chris's life, similar to Sachumo's. However, while Sachumo's film is an abridged summary of Chris's life for newcomers, Geno's videos go into greater detail, with most videos being between 35 to 45 minutes in length, with a decent portion of this being tied to the playback of Chris's own audio and video. As of part LX22, the documentary series is 2 days, 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds long. The series is in chronological order, taking several videos just to cover Chris's life before his internet fame, with a significant portion of the series, 28 episodes, dedicated to the troll-influenced events of 2009 and 2010. Trolls had prodded Chris into producing many calls and videos at the time, which the series utilizes for playback. It presents the events of Chris's life in a mostly objective light, allowing watchers to pass their own judgment on Chris and the people around him. Nonetheless, Geno occasionally slips in dry, blunt observations over Chris's shortcomings, along with summaries of how Chris's problems manifest themselves and worsen over time. Furthermore, he also manages to maintain a completely neutral, deadpan tone of voice when discussing the absolute absurdities present in Chris's life, and he reads spelling errors precisely as they are written, which leads to some of the documentary's most humorous moments despite being an overview of Chris's life. Geno's narration also reflects Chris's changes in identity throughout the series, initially referring to him as Christopher, before changing it to Christian in the first episode, and using masculine pronouns for the bulk of the show's run, eventually shifting over to calling Chris Christine, and using feminine pronouns by the time that the series reaches the events of late 2014, when Chris began to transition. It remains to be seen if he will eventually revert to using masculine pronouns during Chris's extended period of being possessed by Sonichu through most of 2020 and part of 2021, although he has used masculine pronouns to describe Chris's past antics after this period in time. Beginning with episode 61, Geno began altering the theme music to represent the Idea Guys saga. Since the saga in question ended in episode 62, Geno has said that it would be reverted back in episode 63, although a distorted reversed version of the theme has consistently played over the credits since then. The series is still ongoing, its latest episode covering events up to late October 2018, and though Geno initially predicted that it would be around 50 episodes long by the time he reached the present day, the 50th episode ended up only reaching the events of mid-2016. Geno has since predicted that he would reach modern Christry by the 89th episode, meaning that he has a laid-out plan for the documentary. Once he's caught up with Christian Weston Chandler's Adult Chronicles, Geno plans to continue the series incrementally until it ultimately reaches its logical conclusion. It will take a while to get to the present in any case. The documentary series has inspired a considerable amount of new discussion related to Chris, which has predictably produced more weens who mistakenly think that modern Chris acts like he once did during the so-called classic era. Much of the context behind trolling was never publicly released by Chris's trolls, making it appear as if many of Chris's actions during troll sagas were his own ideas. The documentary itself eventually ended up being a part of Christory in a more direct fashion, as several people who would go on to interact with Chris either found out about him or were influenced by the series. Furthermore, Chris is aware of the series and has commented on it several times over Twitter and YouTube, usually expressing approval of Geno's attention to detail. In light of the incest reveal, Geno, like everyone else, was utterly flabbergasted by the extremely dark turn that Christory took. Geno then announced via his Patreon that the series would be taking an extended hiatus following the release of episode 59. He explained that he felt that it would be potentially tasteless and exploitative to continue the series immediately after Chris's appalling actions came to light. So he informed his patrons that he would not be completing and releasing new episodes of the series until early 2022. During that time, Geno redirected his attention to work on his other documentaries and music projects. The series officially resumed on the 24th of February 2022, Chris's 40th birthday.